Let's revisit restrictions quickly. We want to make sure the denominator is not equal to 0. So the restriction for w plus 8 over w is going to be that w cannot be equal to 0. Now, when we zoom in here, to figure out which values of x would make this whole expression equal to 0, I would have to fiddle around and figure that out. Oh, or wait, no, I could just factor that. So let's factor. And so I know that the restrictions for this expression is that x cannot be equal to -2, and x cannot be equal to a -3. If x had those values, this denominator would be 0, and that's not cool, because I cannot divide by 0. So then look at this expression. You might first think, oh, the restrictions are x cannot be equal to 3 because of this, and also x cannot be equal to -3 because of this one. But then, listen in. Some people might say, no, wait, you can cancel these. So your resulting expression is just 5 over x minus 3. So really, the only expression is that, or so only restriction is x cannot be equal to 3. And that would be wrong. When you have an expression that can be simplified, great, go ahead and simplify it, but you have to specify in your final expression the value that you canceled, because that is still part of the world. So algebra is about expressing the real world. Part of this original expression included the fact that x cannot be equal to -3, and so we have to specify that. Even though, yes, we canceled it, I get it, but the original setup that a viewer who views this cannot see, so we have to specify that using this. If you want to also add in that x cannot be equal to 3, that's fine, but any viewer can tell x is not supposed to be 3. So, in conclusion, when you simplify, you need to maintain that restriction. So you keep the restriction of the original expression. Just because you cancel doesn't mean you get rid of that restriction. So let's take a look at this. What could be my restrictions? Well, let's see. X plus 2, x plus 3. So my restrictions would be x is not equal to a -2 or a -3. Now, if somebody challenged you and said, wait, look, you can factor out a 3 at the top, and then you can cancel x plus 2 and x plus 2. So you get 3 over x plus 3. So I say your only restriction is x is not equal to -3. And you would tell that person, great, dude, but you should watch Ms. Culkin's video and you should read up on restrictions, because I can tell that the restriction is x cannot be equal to -3. What's important is that actually that you include the fact that x cannot be equal to -2. In fact, that's even more important. You would say to this person, just because you simplify and cancel does not mean you get rid of the restriction. And if you can hear Nova in the background, she agrees. So just a few more restrictions with some factoring. So 5 over x squared minus 1. My first inclination is like x definitely can't be 1, but wait, let me factor and let me see all the values that x is not allowed to be. Okay, so x cannot be equal to -1 and x cannot be equal to 1. All right, so here this would be x plus 1, x plus 1. Ah, interesting. So here, the only restriction I have is x is not allowed to be equal to -1.